is a dumpster fire.
That was just BS.
It is time to get a new perspective.
We know just what you need, and we've got just the cure. Open wide and prepare for a steaming hot cup of freedom.
I just don't fathom it.
The Michael Dukes Show, streaming live across the world.
Live around the world on the internet at michaeldukeshow.com and across the state of Alaska on this your favorite radio station and or FM translator. Look at that. It's a sign of the times, my friend. It's a sign of the times. It is a Monday, and I definitely had a Monday this morning. I apologize. We had massive technical difficulties here on the program this morning. And I seem to have gotten it back up for right now. Anyway, so welcome to the program. Apologies for all the alternative programming that you were hearing across the state of Alaska right now. It's an abbreviated show this morning. I was supposed to have a guest on. We're supposed to do a bunch of other stuff, and none of that's going to happen this morning. Not a thing. Instead, we're going to just dive into this and hopefully get some headlines done and get things rolling, and then I will spend the rest of the morning unpatching what I patched to be able to get on the air this morning and get things rolling. So that's the plan. Let's hope that it all stays together, shall we? Let's hope that everything just kind of holds together and hold together for me, baby. Right? That's all we can do this morning. All right. So a couple of big things happening out there in the in the world. Some of them national, and some of them a little more localized. So I thought I would go ahead and take a couple of these on here this morning. Of course, my brain is now moving a million miles an hour in other directions, so I apologize if I sound a little disjointed this morning. But we'll get her all squared away. We'll get things pushed and pulled and prodded and pried, and we'll get it squared away. Tomorrow is Brad Keithley and Chris Story. We're also going to have on the program Brett Rottermund. He's going to come in for just a short little hitch right after the 7 o'clock hour. And he and I are going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the Fairbanks North Star Borough on the Assembly. He's an Assembly member up there, and some of the things that are happening. We were going to talk this morning with Keith Fons, who is kind of part and parcel of this whole thing up there with the school board member, what we colloquially called Buttgate. Photograph of the backside of one of the school board members making it out on the internet and everything else. And we were going to talk about him because he is still feeling the backlash from this. And in fact, he has now been removed from social media because of it. Apparently, the school board member and his wife have been working hard behind the scenes to get him thrown off of social media, and they apparently accomplished their mission. So we were going to talk with him about that this morning, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get through that. So probably Wednesday is my guess at this point, is that Wednesday we'll be discussing that and moving forward on that. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and just tackle a couple of these stories here that are right up in front of us, and give a little chit chat on some of this stuff, and give you some heads up. Now, big story, probably one of the bigger stories that hit nationally, is that there was what the FBI is calling apparently a second attempt on President Trump's life. Apparently, a man got onto the golf course, the grounds of the Trump International Golf Course in West Palm Beach yesterday, and the president was on the fifth hole of the course and was unharmed. But they said that they have retrieved the firearm apparently, and apprehended a person of interest, a detained person of interest. But the president said that he is he's safe and well. And in fact, he tweeted yesterday, it was so hysterical. He tweeted yesterday from his official Donald J. Trump account, 0 and 2, which I thought was pretty which I thought was pretty. I mean, it was clever. It was very clever, tongue in cheek. But also, of course, this really is starting to concern me, where we're seeing more and more attempts of, attempts on the life of Donald Trump, whether you love him or hate him. And it's no secret that I am not a huge fan of Trump. I mean, he's better than the alternative right now, but again, not a huge fan of all the stuff that has happened there. But when you've seen two attempts in, just as many months, that's a little troubling. And it shows exactly where the discourse in this country seems to have gone. And this is kind of what's been on my mind and my heart lately. That this rhetoric that we keep hearing from all sides, but especially the rhetoric of he is the biggest threat to democracy, in the history of the world kind of thing, I think is definitely not helping and is pushing some of the buttons towards what is a very, very problematic situation. And so, we don't really know much about this guy other than he has been that he has been apparently supporting Democratic causes. It's interesting. They've got some captures of his social media presence, including the fact that he said that Trump was Massa, not MAGA, but Massa, Make America Slaves Again. And democracy is on the ballot. We cannot lose. We can't afford to fall. The world is counting on us, et cetera, et cetera. So it's, I don't know. It just seems like this is more and more. Now, the interesting thing is, my wife and I were talking about this yesterday, is that there is no real more information, further information coming out about the assassination attempt earlier on President Trump. We still don't know the motivations of the shooter. And there's just not a lot going on. We just don't know much, which, I guess they're keeping it close to the vest for their investigatory, whatever. But at some point we kind of need to know what's causing these people to go nuts and attempt to do this kind of stuff. We really need to, we really kind of need a better idea of what's going on. This guy, I'm not even going to say his name. This guy that they've captured, or I guess apprehended, appears to be a very strong progressive supporter. Well, what is that? What does it mean? I don't know. His rhetoric that they have in these screenshots from going all the way back to 2020 is not like vociferously violent or calling for violence or anything else. And in fact, he calls out Kamala Harris and Biden, and tells them that they should be looking into Trump and everything else, but not really calling for any kind of violent or there's not a lot of rhetoric from the snapshots that I've seen. There may be more, and maybe more will come out, but the more that they kind of ignore some of this stuff, or in the case of the shooter in Pennsylvania, the more that they kind of brush it under the rug or stop talking about it, the more it kind of feels like, what is there to hide? Just tell us what the guy's motivations were. Tell us, did he have a manifesto? What did his social media presence look like? What was he? And the news media, of course, is not doing a good job of this, because they know that that there's a sympathy thing. There's a sympathy bump anytime something like this happens, regardless of what side of the political aisle it's on. So they don't even really want to dig into this to give more ammunition to the whole, the whole side thing out there. But it's a little frustrating to watch. But I guess the good news is that the president is safe and still running the campaign trail and still moving forward. And as I said earlier, FBI is considering this an assassination attempt. Apparently, Trump was tackled there on the fifth hole of the golf course when they heard the pop, pop, pop. Apparently, no bullet struck near him, but I guess that's what they're considering it. So we'll keep you informed and let you know if anything else breaks on this, and give you more as it comes forward. All right. Let's move over to this other story, which I found interesting. This was posted, I think originally, the big story on this came from the Fairbanks Daily News Miner. There is a new report out from Wood Mackenzie. They're a global energy analyst. If you've been following anything with oil and gas, you recognize the name. They're a big name in oil and gas studies and feasibilities and things like that. They put together a new report, and they say that an 800-mile gas line from the North Slope through the Fairbanks area down towards Cook Inlet would provide cheaper natural gas for use in the state compared to imported gas. Now, I haven't read the report yet. This just came out, and I haven't had a chance to analyze it. I'm sure Brad Keithley will probably have some details on it tomorrow. But the report basically said that the long productive Cook Inlet Basin also will be depleted in about a decade. That's what their analysis states. Whether that's true or not, that's what they're proposing. The report does not answer some important questions, and it makes some big assumptions, big assumptions. Now, I'm not sure who at the Alaska Gas Line Development Corporation commissioned this, but it was commissioned by AGDC, which that has something to do with it, right? I mean, when you look at things like this, you're like, oh, well, that has something to do with you got to look at this and go, that's a little troubling, right? When they get just the results they were looking for in some of these studies. Now, I'm not saying Wood Mackenzie did that, but I think it obviously colors it because it makes some big assumptions. One assumption is that the gas for the project will be produced by a company that currently does not produce oil or gas, Great Bear Pantheon. It's an exploration company working to develop 2 North Slope projects. It has signed a preliminary deal with AGDC to sell gas to it if it is produced. But there's nothing there yet, right? I mean, it's not a big thing. The report also does not answer where billions of dollars needed to build the gas line will come from. And of course, this has always been the issue to begin with, is who's going to build it? Who's going to pay for it? Who pays? And do the economics work out? And that is the big, that is the biggest question that should be answered toot sweet, right? This is the question that should be answered. Who pays for it? Because again, it's a multi-billion-dollar deal. The AGDC has tried for about a decade to build the $44 billion Alaska LNG project, which would ship gas to South Central and then liquefy it for export. The agency proposed building the pipeline as a first step phase at $11 billion to address the anticipated gas shortage, but there's no idea of where it comes. And the biggest problem, according to NSTAR, is the fact that the timing. It's going to take several years, and they're going to be falling short on gas in just the next couple of years. So what happens there? I don't know. I mean, in a lot of ways, this sounds like a bit of a Hail Mary to me, and we'll have to see where it goes from there. Okay, we got to go. We're going to take a quick break. One final segment today. I know this short show, but hopefully I've got all this nailed down. I'm going to spend a good part of the rest of the day trying to make sure that this is all working right. We'll be back. The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free thinking radio.
If you missed the show, you can listen to it on your time with Dukes On Demand. Oh, and it's free. Like America used to be. Streaming live every weekday morning on Facebook Live and MichaelDukesShow.com.
Oh my gosh. It's a Monday. And hi guys, how you doing? I gotta fix everything. Short show today. Due to tech difficulties. Come on. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this in the thing so that when the final video shows up and it's only 28 minutes long, they're like, what's going on? Had some real tech challenges this morning. Main studio PC died. Only about 25 minutes long today. We'll pick things back up tomorrow. Just going over some headlines. All right. Today. Okay. So let me fix all these descriptions on these videos so people don't get confused. They're like, what'd we miss? Well, you missed a few things. Let me go back over here and see if I can fix this on a Rumble. All right. Edit. And we'll do that. Nope. We'll do this first. And then we'll go back over here. Boom. And we will fix this. Okay. Saved. Okay. We'll see what, hopefully that gets us going. Let me see if we get this squared away here. There we go. Short show. There you go. Okay. So now I've got the videos all edited down and running. Let me save changes. All right. Let me go back over here and see what you guys are going on. It's a far left-wing conspiracy. No, it's just a bad computer piece. Trump sat out fundraising email from it. We live in a dangerous world. He needs to hire Blackwater and get rid of Secret Service, says Eskimo Libertarian. Man. Betty Johnson has a lot of info this morning. Guy was recruiting people to fight for Ukraine. Fat Ray says you can only tell people Orange Man Hitler so many times before some loon somewhere takes that to the logical conclusion. And I saw that discussion somebody was having on one of the talking heads was talking about. You can only it was Tabby Gabby Gabbard, Tulsi Gabbard. Man. It's Tulsi Gabbard, and she said, look, you can only tell people that somebody is an existential threat to democracy and that they compare them to Hitler so many times before somebody takes the logical conclusion of the question, the thought, experiment of if you knew Hitler was going to be there and you could do something about it, what would you do? And she's not wrong. She's not wrong. So, yeah, it's interesting to see what's going on. I did not finally get a new main PC. We're still running on the old PC, but I was able to swap drives out. The hard drive crashed on it. So I backed up some of it, but let's hope that it's not all dead. Let's just put it that way. I got stuff on there that I'm going to need to try and get off this morning. Oh man, what a hot freaking mess. And I went on so long that I didn't, I wasn't able to, I'm not able to rejoin back to the peninsula. So the peninsula people are not listening right now. They're listening to Mike Gallagher because I got stuff going on. So anyway, it's radio. Nobody's going to die. We'll make it all beautiful this morning, and we'll figure out where we're going from here. Let me double check to see. Okay. All right. Making sure that we're all squared away for this is stuff that I normally do before the show, but because I was dealing with all that, I didn't get a chance to. All right. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had so much. I was so much that I was thinking about, so much that I was ready to get into, and I really wanted to have some discussions about some of this stuff. But now I'm so kerfluffled that we're going to be lucky to finish talking up about this. What are your guys' thoughts on the? Excuse me. What are your guys' thoughts on the assassination attempt? Do you think this helps Trump or hurts him? Do you think this shows a disturbing trend? What's your overall take on this? It's crazy. We'll see where it goes from there. All right, we're going to jump back into it. Here we go. The Michael Duke Show, Common Sense Radio. Okay, one final segment here of the program for this morning. Oh, before we get out of here and start tearing the world up, let's continue on and see what we can come up with here. We're gonna try and finish up on some of the news stories that are going on around here. I just asked the question specifically, about the this latest assassination attempt. What are your thoughts on it? Does this show a level of, I guess, where is the fault on this? Is this because of the lack of discourse? Is it because of the vitriolic statements? Is it the whole orange man is Hitler and a threat to democracy? Is that pushing it? Is it, or, is it something more? And does it help? Does this kind of stuff, as crass and I guess as brazen as it is to ask, does this help the president or hurt him in those regards? Denise said, I was talking to family and friends, I'm assuming yesterday, and she says, not one of us was shocked or surprised. That's how far the country has gone. We almost expected. Yeah, it's kind of a thing. When my wife told me, I was like, well, there it is again, because you can't keep telling people that somebody is as evil as, they can't keep saying he's Satan and expect people not to try and fight back. You can disagree with somebody. And I disagree with Kamala Harris. I disagree with Trump on a lot of things, but I can disagree with Kamala Harris and not say that she's evil and that she's the greatest threat to. We will survive if for some reason she makes it to the presidency, which I hope it doesn't happen, but we will survive. And in some ways, it may cause the country to swing even further back the other way after she's done, because we've seen that pendulum effect. We've seen that pendulum effect, in the past. But either way, we've got to find a way to have discourse, and be able to agree to disagree without trying to kill each other. This is nuts. this is really, it is kind of crazy. This guy obviously has some, mental issues, and is decided to take it out on Trump. And again, it would sure be nice if the Secret Service, the FBI, whoever has been investigating both of these attempts, and we're not getting any information, right? It's just there's very little information at this point. And in fact, the information on the Pennsylvania shooter is just stopped coming out. We're not hearing anything. And that's a little troubling. We'd like to know a little bit more about what drove him. What was the reason? What was going on? Bill says he was a felon. Was he? I guess I don't have all the details, I don't have any of the real details of what's going on. He apparently was angry about Ukraine. He was, yeah, I don't know. Bill says, how does a felon fly 9,000 miles, obtain an AK-47 as a felon, and know when the tea time is? That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't realize that he was a felon. I guess it's possible. He had an AK-47, 2 backpacks, and a GoPro, according to Drudge. Let me see what the CNN update here says. According to, let's see, they're going to go ahead and they're going to charge him. They said it may be difficult to charge him with a crime against Trump specifically. The distance between Trump and the shooter was between 300 and 500 yards. It might be too far for the court to be certain that he was aiming his rifle at Trump. Instead, it'd be much easier to charge him with aiming at the Secret Service agent who saw the rifle barrel pointed at him. I just don't know. The initial gun-related charges were filed as prosecutors are seeking to keep him detained while authorities continue to investigate what the FBI said appears to be an attempted assassination defense. Ron DeSantis has said he's not spoken with Trump yet, but has also said that the state was doing its own investigation, as well as to what's going on. I guess it was. It says the man suspected in the apparent assassination attempt has been charged with 2 firearms counts. The counts include possession of a firearm while a convicted felon and a possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. So not only was he a convicted felon, he had the serial numbers filed off the firearm, which is a big no-no. Yeah. This this is that is I have questions. Now I definitely have questions. According to CNN, also, the man detained in the apparent assassination attempt said was so calm when he stopped, it was perplexing, said the sheriff of Martin County. His facial effect was so flat, his demeanor so relaxed, I honestly thought it looked like somebody who just left the church picnic and was on his way home. Despite the commotion surrounding his apprehension, the area crawling with law enforcement, SWAT team had gotten their rifles out, helicopters, a bomb dog. The man never asked why he got pulled over. He said he was just really calm, as if he was going for dinner. They conducted a felony stop and brought the man safely out of the vehicle into custody. I got questions. I got questions as to what's going on with this. The more we find out, the more it is the more questions that seem to pop up. Let's just put it that way. So we'll be probably following this more throughout the week, and then on Firearms Friday, we probably will have some more questions on this, because this is crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, GoPro, 2 backpacks recovered at the scene. He moved to Hawaii in 2018, and apparently he made a post on X, asked then President Trump to win re-election by issuing an executive order directing the Department of Justice to prosecute police misconduct. He also posted support of the presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know. This is okay. Anyway, we could go way down the rabbit hole on this, but definitely I have questions as to where this guy came from. Where did he get the stuff? Because you can't get an AK-47 in Hawaii, right? I mean, they're pretty stained. And how do you fly all the way across the country and pick one up? That's my question. How did he, how did you get all that gear? Because you're not picking up. Apparently, he was wearing a vest, a bulletproof vest, and he had the GoPro and the backpacks and the guns and everything. Where did you get all that gear? I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. All right. So, coming up tomorrow on the program, we will be talking. Can we get somebody from the CIA to come on the radio? Says Rick. I doubt it. I doubt it for sure. But we'll see where that goes. Coming up tomorrow on the program, Brad Keithley and Chris Story will be joining us, along with Fairbanks North Star Borough Assemblyman Brett Rottermund. He's going to be joining us to talk about some of the things that are going on there in Fairbanks on the Assembly. And it should be an interesting discussion. There's been a lot of contention going on the Assembly. And of course, we've got the election coming up right now. October the 1st. We are 2 weeks away, essentially, from the election in Fairbanks. And elections have consequences. So if you're out there and you have a bunch of friends who are ready to go, you should be out there getting them, encouraging them to go vote, helping take them to the polls if they need to, or whatever else, because there needs to be some changes in Fairbanks. Anyway, we're going to continue on tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Again, apologies for the late start this morning and the short show. Hopefully we can get these technical issues all squared away. We'll be back with more tomorrow, The Michael Duke Show. Common sense, liberty-based, free-thinking radio. We will see you then. Have a great day. Well, I guess we'll have to see how this all works. I got her running, although I guess the video is a little herky. It looks a little jerky to me. But hopefully the audio is okay. So we'll continue for tomorrow. We'll see where it goes from here. Appreciate you guys all coming on board. And again, apologies for the late start today. It is what it is. The podcast people only get a little taste today. 33 minutes long so far. But we'll hopefully come back tomorrow and be part of it. Okay. Well, that's it for me. I'm done. Gonna go have a drink already. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
We've shed our terrestrial radio skin, and now we are slimy lizard internet people. It's the Michael Duke Show.